So good morning to all of you. And today we begin a new topic, a new chapter, the government budget and the economy. And this section normally carries questions of 6 marks. This full section of government budget and the economy would carry a 6 marks question in your annual exam, board exam paper. Now, what is the meaning of a budget? I'm sure most of you know what is a budget. We all create a budget at some time or the other. Why do we have a budget? Because you know that we have limited resources, and with that resources, we need to plan okay, what to buy and what not to buy, whether it is in our budget, that means can be afforded or not. Similarly, a government also at the start of every financial year they have a budget, which and you also must have seen it on TV. We have budget sessions, right, where the finance minister of the country reads out the budget for the year. This is how we plan to spend our income on different categories which are mentioned. So that is the budget. But how do we define a budget in a definition? Write down. A government budget is a statement of expected receipts and expenditure of the government during a fiscal year. The budget not only gives the budget estimates for the coming financial year, but also gives the actual financial accounts for the previous year and the revised estimates of the current year. Indian financial year runs from 1st April to 31st March. So children, by definition, now you must be aware that it is a statement prepared of all the expected receipts, what we can get it from where all. And out of that revenue, how much we get in, what would be our expenditure. Our expenditure means the government expenditure. From which period? From the 1st of April to 31st March, which is the fiscal year or the financial. Okay. Next heading would be objectives of the budget. Objectives of the budget. The first objective is redistribution of income and wealth. Redistribution of income and wealth. Redistribution. That means distribution has already been done sometime. When you are planning something, then you find you need to redistribute. So write down the inequalities of income and wealth reflect a section of the society is being deprived, that a section of the society is being deprived of even basic necessities. So there is a need for reducing them in the society. The government can reduce inequalities through its tax and expenditure policy. For this, the government can use a progressive taxation policy. A progressive taxation policy whereby the government puts a higher rate of taxation on the rich people and a lower rate of taxation on the lower income groups. This reduces the disparities in income and wealth. This reduces the disparity in income and wealth. Have you understood this point, children? Redistribution of income and wealth. Like I said, when there is an inequality in society, why does it happen? Why are some people very rich? Why are some people very poor? This reflects that there is something wrong, and this reflects that there is a part of the society which is not even getting basic necessities. What are the basic necessities of life? In Hindi, you would call roti, kapda, or makan. Right? We find that these sections are not even getting the basic necessities of life. So these inequalities have to be rectified, and our government makes an attempt to regulate these inequalities which are there in the society. So we need to reduce them, and the government reduces these inequalities. How? By two things: by its tax and expenditure policies. Now, how does it use these two tools? By what we must have heard or must have heard in the news: progressive taxation policy. Progressive taxation policy. What is this progressive taxation policy, children? Simply that we have different income slabs, right? Income slabs by which a person gives his tax. So the richer people, the people who are in the higher income category, they are taxed higher than those who are in the lower income group. So higher taxes on the rich people and lower rate of taxation on the lower income group, and this is how it intends to reduce the disparities between the income and the wealth of the country. So that is why the first objective of the budget is to redistribute the income and understood. Second objective, reallocation of resources. Reallocation of resources. Write down. Reallocation of resources in the manner such that there is a balance between the goals of profit maximization. There is a balance between the goals of profit maximization. In brackets, you can write private goods, clothes, mobiles, cars, food items, etc. and social welfare. In social welfare brackets mein you write down public goods, national defense, roads, parks, that is public parks, government administration, etc. Now understand this point, children. You reallocate from here to there your resources in such a manner that there is a balance between two things. What is the first one? Profit maximization. When we're talking about the private sector, private goods. Now, private goods, clothes, mobile, cars, food items. How much money should be allocated, or how much resources should be given for private profit maximization, and how much should be given for social welfare? Social welfare include what? Public goods, national defense, roads, public parks, etc. etc. There should be a balance between the two, right? Not that one sector is doing well and the other is lagging behind. No. There should be a balance between the two, and for there to be a balance between the two, we need to reallocate our resources from year to year by learning from the past, if there was anything to learn, good and bad, and then try and put it in the present and think about the future. Isn't that, children? This is how we would relocate. So now next line, write down. Heavy taxes can be imposed on production heavy taxations or taxes can be imposed on production units engaged in producing harmful products like liquor, cigarettes, etc. And tax concessions and subsidies can be given to encourage production of products useful for the masses. There are certain goods and services. There are certain goods and services in which the private sector shows little interest due to the huge investment requirements and lower profits like sanitation, roads, parks, etc. The government can undertake the production of these goods and services and alternatively it can encourage the private sector by giving tax concessions and subsidies. Understand this point, children. I said heavy taxes can be imposed on the production of those goods which are harmful. So raise the taxes for producing such goods like liquor, cigarettes, etc. And give concessions, give subsidies on the production of those goods which are very useful for the masses, for the public. Okay, now you must be aware that there are certain goods and services where the private sector does not want to do that particular job. Government ka kaam, they must do it. They have a sort of a feeling like that. That like sanitation, roads, parks, no, no, no. This is not into where we are going to go and put our business or our money into. So the government should, like they say, undertake the production of these goods and services, and alternatively, it can also encourage the private sectors to do this by giving them tax concessions and also by giving subsidies. So these are some of the measures taken to reallocate the resource so that there is a balance between the private sector, so to speak, between the profit maximization and the social welfare part of the society, which includes the social society. What all does it includes? What are those we said? Public goods, national defense, roads, public parks. There must be a balance. And to create that balance, very important, we allocate the resources in the, that is the second objective of the budget. The third objective, economic stability. Economic stability. You know the meaning of being stable? Still, firm. So, stability in the economy, write down, means keeping fluctuations in the general price level within limits. What is the meaning of fluctuations? The rise and fall, increase, the decrease. So what keeps fluctuating? Price. Sometimes the price increases, sometimes the price decreases. There is an unstableness. So the stability in economy means we must keep the fluctuations in the general price level within limits. Okay. Now the government budget, write down, the government budget is a tool to prevent economy from inflation or deflation and to maintain economic stability. The government can bring stability through taxes and expenditure. In case of inflation, the government can reduce its own expenditure or increase tax. In case of deflation, the government can give tax concessions or increase expenditure Now understand this. Economic stability. It is very necessary that there is stability in the economy. And what causes the instability? Inflation and deflation. Inflation means rise in price. Deflation means drop in the price. Both are anyway harmful. Okay? When there is a rise in the price, inflation, period of inflation, how can the government control it? It can reduce its own expenditure, number one, or then increase the taxes. And when there is a case of deflation, what can it do? It can give tax concessions or then increase its expenditures. By doing this, increasing the taxes and expenditure, the government can provide stability in the economy. And for any economy to grow and to be successful, there has to be stability. Because inflation is not good, at the same time, deflation also is not. So, the third objective of the government budget is to provide an economic. The fourth would be economic growth. Economic growth. Another purpose, write down, another purpose of the government budget today is to study the generation of savings, investment, consumption, and capital formation to assess the trend of growth, in the economy and to improve the standard of living of the people. Economic growth implies a sustainable increase in the GDP, a sustainable increase in the real GDP of an economy. Not just GDP, but the real GDP of an economy. That is an increase in the volume of goods and services produced in an economy. If the government provides tax rebates and other incentives for productive ventures. Ventures means projects. It can stimulate savings and investments in an economy. Understand it like this, children. When the government provides tax rebates, incentives for those people who are into production, okay, what happens? This gives rise, it stimulates savings and investments in the economy, and that gives a rise to the economic growth. This is what the objective is about: have an economic growth. We'll stop till here, children. I'm running out of time. All of a sudden, you may just shut down. So what happens? We'll continue tomorrow again. Okay? Till then, we all stay safe and have a nice day. Enjoy the day.